but so always just keep those cameras recording.
Yeah, get as much as you can. Cool.
Yeah, all day long.
Cool. Good stuff. So then, I'd like to move on to from away from video content creation and stuff, and talk your business. So like you mentioned before, you have different projects coming in. You're nice and busy at the minute. So you've got loads of things going on. But how do you get the most out of your day for all like entrepreneurs and startups and those kinds of guys who are listening? What do you have one tip where you think, if I do this every day, I'm kind of on top of things, or at least I feel like I'm on top of things?
Mentally exercise.
Okay.
I think you'll find that most people that work for themselves are all cut from very much the same cloth in terms of they're a bit scatty, they're a bit energetic, they're a bit anxious. They're passionate, they're scared, they're excited, and it's kind of for me, what keeps me level is exercise, big time. In terms of like when I first started this off, coming off a 9 to 5 schedule, Monday to Friday, was really hard. Like it was really horrible. Like because you were like, okay, my wife's going to work, so what do I do?
Yeah.
And and it took a while like to get into a rhythm of what to do. So in terms of, I don't know, you've got to really enjoy your downtime when you've got it, because I always worry sometimes if we get quiet, I'm like, we're a bit quiet, I don't like it, it's a horrible feeling. But then when we're really busy, I can't wait to have a few days off. But as soon as they come round, I'm then panicking again that I'm not doing enough. So it's weird. It's kind of, you have to find a new you in a way. I can't say one thing apart from exercise levels me off, and having just people around you that are willing to listen, and definitely having, if you're going to go into business with someone, go into business with someone who's different than you. Don't go into someone that's just going to agree with everything that you say, because that is rubbish.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get everything right. So go into business with someone who you can just talk with, or you can just be open and go, look, I'm feeling a bit like this at the moment, or I'm a bit worried about this, or what should we do about that? And so, yeah, I think my number one thing is have people to talk to, some sort of network. And I know there's set social networks, but to be fair, you're not really going to speak to a lot of people online that you don't know in that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without doubt. Yeah. Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Saying about speaking to people. I've worked from home for like the last 8 months, 9 months, and then finally decided last week that it was time to get a little bit of office space. And when it was in on Friday and was in today, and the difference in actually talking to people who are in the same boat as you is ridiculous. Like
it's mad, isn't it? Yeah,
it makes a difference so much.
When I first started out working like this, I would name drop 2 cool people that people should check out. A guy called Dean Mitchell, who's a freelance designer, and a guy called Justin Robert Price, all on LinkedIn. Okay. Just really nice blokes. And they were really good at mentoring me, but at the same time pushing me, and also throwing it back in my face sometimes when it wasn't what I expected life was going to be like. So I think people sometimes think that freelancers, they have a nice little dog and they sit around just drinking coffee with an Apple Mac on their lap all day. That is not the way that it is.
Definitely not.
It's not that way. And I think sometimes, like, especially Justin was like, it's not the way you thought it was going to be, is it, kid? And it was kind of like, actually, you know what? It's not. And this was really early on. And it's like, I value his friendship big time. And same with Dean. Like, Dean was always very much of no fear, go for it, don't worry about it. So, yeah, speaking to other freelancers. In fact, you know what? On your other question, that is the thing that you need to do to keep your level. You need to speak to other people that are in that boat with you.
Okay.
Because they're sailing that one with you. And if you ever need pick it up and confidence, or if you need telling off, sometimes you need telling off.
Yeah.
They're the people to have in your corner.
Excellent. Okay. So then from your exercise tip and speaking to like-minded people and people in a similar boat, how do you balance managing your own business and then multiple projects for other businesses? So we mentioned before about you can't wait to have a bit of freedom if your music video project comes together and you get a chance to do that. Like everyone who has a startup or is running a business or is a freelancer wants to promote their business, but also their day job is to promote other businesses for whatever reason that might be. How do you balance those 2 different things?
That's funny, man. I never really thought about it. It's weird. It's an interesting question because they kind of just happen together. So we're pretty good at getting things turned around quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I think it's the sort of people we are as well. Like Dean and I, like we want to do the best for the client. We want to get it out as quick as possible. Obviously not rushing it, but we like to we kind of those. Yeah, it's weird. That's a really tough question. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it kind of just happens. Because there's two of us, and I feel for people that sometimes completely go on their own, and I've got massive respect for them because there's a lot to do. So Dean, for example, is very technical. So he will hand over a lot of the networking duties to me, and I love talking to people like yourself, and I like going out and meeting new people and going and pitching to people and whatnot and stuff like that. As where he likes to he'll come and do that stuff, it's no problem, but he's very like, oh well, I want to investigate this new color grading system, or I want to investigate this, and it's like, okay, cool. So I think that's the way we bounce off each other. He's really good with sort of doing figures and the accounting side of stuff, as where I like doing more the blogging side of stuff and how we're going to move next and what we're doing next as a business. So yeah, it's interesting. It kind of, and it's a lame ass term, but it kind of happens organically.
Yeah. Do you know what though? You're not the first person to say that. Like, one of the first interviews I did was with Ben Harrington, an email guy who, when I first came across him, everyone promoted him on LinkedIn. Like, if you've got a question on email, go to Ben. If you need an email, this Ben all the time.
That's
and
it
was
man.
kind of just a chance meeting. And when I asked him the same question, and it was around like, well, everything comes word of mouth. Like, because when you do a good job, people are very much inclined to say, go to this guy.
And how mad's that? What a compliment that is as well. Like, everything comes word to mouth. That's amazing, isn't it? When you think about what it is, when you actually break it down, that you've built something up yourself, you've promoted yourself, you've gone through the tears and the heartbreak, but everyone now is passing your name around. That is really special.
Yeah, that's
no one can take that away.
You want to be, isn't it? Like,
it's weird. You can have the best website in the world, you can have the best Instagram account in the world, but if you're not meeting people or talking to them, or nothing's going to happen, is it?
No, that's the thing. And you've got to, like you said before, about when a project comes in, you make sure you're on it, it's quick, it's turned around, it's done the best you can possibly do it. People do appreciate all that stuff. The worst thing you can be as an agency, like I've worked with many of them in the past, not video, but development and all this kind of keep it in the past, where it's like pulling teeth getting anything. It's pulling teeth getting answers. It's pulling teeth getting what you've asked for and paid for to be passed over to you. So the fact that you're churning through content and giving it to them exactly the way they want it, like it's just a win-win for everybody, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Part of it's excitement because you want to see what it's like when it's finished.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is you're excited to see what the client thinks when they see it. So it's all part of this rolling buzz. And then at the end of it, you'll get paid. So it's like, I suppose it's like any, you like filming it, you like planning it, you like editing it, you like color grading it, you like delivering it, and then there's nothing better than getting the testimonial. And like I always love getting testimonials off people and stuff because I just love it when they write stuff about us. Because it's like I wish we could, and that's not meant to sound like write stuff about us. It's just like, if this was all to end tomorrow, I've got those little testimonials that said that we did a good job at one point.
But that's it. It goes a long way when people make the effort to say, "Go and speak to Nick," and it could be as simple as that in a comment or a tag or whatever it is. But the fact that they've seen enough in you, and there's enough that you've done for them to make that effort, it is massive. It is huge. Like, so I completely agree with that. So then, since launching Creative Pie Films and working with Dean and all that kind of stuff, is there a lesson that you've learned that you would say this? If someone asked me for business advice, I know we've talked about meeting the like-minded people and going in with someone who compliments you and all this kind of stuff. But is there one piece of advice that rattles around in your head every so often and you think, yeah, that's why I'm here, or that kind of levels me out?
There is one thing, and it's my dad, and he used to be a salesman for a long time ago. He used to be a salesman for like was it aggregates or cement or something? And it's nothing to do with what I do. And he always, when we first started out, and I go, "Oh, Dad, I've got a meeting with someone," he'll go, "Always remember, the ratio, 2 ears to 1 mouth. Use them in that way." And it is so true, man. Like, just think about what it is you're going to say, or when you're going to say it, or is it appropriate to say or maybe you should play it cool and not say anything and just let the situation play out. Definitely, that is a big one, man. Just learn to listen and take in all different things, because it's business is a game of chess in some regards, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be right place, right time, and all this kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah, and
yeah,
you don't want to maneuver yourself into sort of a dead end with a situation. Or you don't want to come across too excited or whatever, or too. So it's definitely just chill, listen. I'm the worst for it as well, man. Like, I'm probably coming across a bit too excited on this, but that's how I am all the time, and I hate it sometimes.
You know what, sometimes it's infectious. Like, it's really, for me as well, doing shows like this, or even being involved in a project. Like, I go into meetings sometimes, it's like, oh, come on, you can give me something. Like, you could give me a beer. And then you talk to people like you who are really excitable, and you think, I'm excited to talk to you too. So when you pitch a project, I can imagine it to be really lively and really like, this is all the things that are possible. You can dwindle it down and make it suit your business, but there's a scope here that you can really go after and make it special, kind of thing.
And I think that's why I love teaching. I've taught for like 9 years and stuff, and I used to love the performative element of it and trying to teach the students and trying to convey ideas or theories in a fun, entertaining way. And I used to never stop from like flipping 9 till 5 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And like, I shouldn't drink coffee. Like, I'm the kid that used to get excited about Christmas on bonfire night.
Wow.
So I would be excited about Christmas the day after bonfire night. Until Christmas Day came, I would be just rattling around the house. Oh my God, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Nice. So yeah, it's not a good thing. The only thing that it comes in handy for is, one, like, you've got to be excited about what you're doing, otherwise so that's good. But two, it helps me get faster times on my bike. So
good. Well, there you go then. It's a win-win, isn't it? Definitely a win-win. Okay, cool. So in our we'll start our wrap up, and at the end of our podcast we always do like quick fire questions. So you have seen these questions, so you have had a little bit of time to think, but we'll dive into our quick fire now and see what we get.
I don't know how quick I'll be with the answers, because I like to think about it, you see. So I'm listening before I talk.
That's absolutely fine. So, number one, the app that you can't live without. What is it and why?
There's two.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be LinkedIn. Yeah. And I mean, it's bad, man. Like, I can sometimes, if I can be on there too much. Do you know what I mean? And then, but I think I'm not. I think I'm one of millions of people that just love being on there. And then two is Strava, just because I'm always looking at what my teammates are doing and all that sort of stuff. So I've got two apps. Facebook, don't really go on. So.
Okay. And do you know what? To be honest, I never ever used LinkedIn before. I've had profiles on it in previous businesses and when I've worked for previous retailers and stuff, because the business has said be on LinkedIn. So you're like, yeah, whatever, okay. I've really started using it now for ACR, and the benefit of it is ridiculous. Like, we started chatting on LinkedIn originally, so there's one benefit. But
that's mad. I never realised that businesses told staff that they had to be on there.
Yeah, sometimes they do, especially but depending on the business specifically that you're in. Like, well, people will find you on LinkedIn because it's business to business. But I've found when you're more personable, you actually get better results. Actually. Like, just being yourself rather than this is strategically this and strategically.
I think everyone's really suspicious of everyone. Like, at the moment, like, everyone's really like, I don't know if you get this vibe, but we live in a bit of a weird world at the moment where everyone thinks everyone's after something.
Yeah,
people are suspicious of someone's motives, and sometimes people find it freaky if you're just yourself. They're like, oh, what's his end? Until they get to know you, it's a bit weird. We need to stop being so suspicious of each other.
Do you know what though? That's a thing. Like, I met Ben on LinkedIn. I've spoke to you as well. I've lined up a couple more interviews as well, and it's literally been from liking a post or getting involved in a conversation and being completely honest about it, rather than having that. And I think there is a bit of a thing where Mike Winnett said it on last week's show. Your company, you will be perceived in a particular way if you engage in a particular way. So a lot of people are very, very conscious of that. Whereas guys like me and you who own our own business, or freelancers and young entrepreneurs and startups and things, they want to be personal because people do business with people.
That's it, man. That is it. Totally.
And that's the thing. Like, you need to be yourself, because what happens when you meet them? And if you were all formal on LinkedIn and all proper, in inverted commas, and then you met you and you as lively and as excitable as you are, which is cool. Like people be like, well, that's not